Alrighty, boys. This one's probably going to be a quick video today. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I figured I would just open up these boxes and show you guys what I got. This is the diff, the front diff, and the transfer case. So I'll show you guys what I ended up going with. I did ask you guys on a poll on the community tab what you wanted to see, and I didn't do that because I'm an asshole. But there were some things that changed my mind. So the question was if I should get one locally and rebuild it with the pump rub mod and change the input shaft for the 4L80, because the one local to me has the input shaft for a 4L60. And then I ended up looking around a little bit more, and I've been looking around for like probably at least a month trying to find one that was a decent price and from a 4L80. So with the manual shift, that was the challenging part. So I wanted to do a manual shift, just like a floor shift transfer case. Didn't want to deal with any of the wiring. I'm sure it wouldn't be that bad, but I just wanted something that I can just, you know, and then it goes in. So this is not the transfer case. Of course, the top box is not that. But let's get at it because I gotta get this out anyways. Ooh, it's in a garbage bag. So the big difference here, I'll show you guys. I ended up buying a different differential because this one has the bracket on it, this big bracket, and the other one I bought, it didn't come with this bracket, and I paid $160 for this and about the same for the other diff. The other one was a lot cleaner. This one's all full of fluid. But the other one that I have didn't have that big bracket on it. And I started looking for the prices for the bracket and knew the bracket's like $140, and I couldn't find them anywhere else. And I ended up finding a guy on a Facebook page that had one, but he would have to ship it, and he wanted $40 plus shipping. So it was like $60 for a used one, or $140 for a new one, or $160 for a whole new diff that has one attached to it. So that's what I did. I ended up getting the second one. Now I have a spare. So there's always like that spare factor. That's what I was kind of thinking about too. Now I have a spare one because I don't know how well this thing is going to hold up to the power. I've had kind of mixed opinions on it. Somebody said that they were breaking them a lot and they broke pretty easy. And I've had a couple other people saying that they're pretty strong and they actually last pretty decent. So I don't really know what to believe or know what to think. I'm not doubting the experience of either of those people. But I guess I wanted to go with having a spare one. That's never gonna hurt. Oh, I'm gonna be really awesome right here and twist this thing until I take it. I know there's a little tab on there, but I don't see it. So we're just gonna do it like this. Caution, heavy package, over 70 pounds. So maybe I will do them separately. Honestly, I don't even think that the transmission would stay on my stand with this transfer case on the back side of it. So maybe that made up my mind. I'll probably put the trans up and get it kind of bolted in place, and then put the transfer case up separately. That'll probably be easier too, then I'm not having to deal with both of them while I'm trying to fit the mounts and everything, get that all situated for the transfer case. In case I gotta pull it down for anything. cool. Allstate gear policy. Interesting. Comes in a nice little envelope with instructions on how to break it. Put it in a 4-wheel drive Ranger and hammer it. Hammer Town. And they didn't bag it and left it completely exposed in the styrofoam, which is usually my favorite, because that way there's shit all over. There's no caps on any of the shafts. They did put a bag over the end though. Oh boy, that gets me excited. See what I'm saying? This is just annoying. When there's shit all over it, styrofoam chunks. The worst is the packing peanuts. I used to ship a lot of stuff when I was doing a lot of stereo stuff. That's kind of how I would pay for the hobby at the time. I would just flip a lot of stereo equipment constantly, find good deals on it and flip it. And just drives me nuts. I'm like a freak about packaging. I just hate shitty packaging, especially when it's stuff like this. A piece of equipment that's like kind of sensitive. You used to see people ship alternators in just like a bunch of packing peanuts. No bag or nothing. You fucking throw it in packing peanuts. If you do that, don't do it. But yeah, here's the transfer case. And I just got to make sure I count the input shaft. All oil. This is kind of cool, I guess. They put a big tag on it. All oil and lubricating fluid has been changed. So at least you know to put fluid in it. But there's like a sensor hole that's completely exposed. Everything else is full of shit. So there it is. I just got to count and make sure it has the right input shaft, spline count, and then I should be good to go. Actually, what I can do, I have the input shaft over here. I'm gonna go get it. Or I have the output shaft, I should say. I have the output shaft from the transmission sitting there. We'll just make sure that it's the right one, which it is. That's good. And it also has the 32 ply spline output shaft, which is good because the guy that I was talking to for the front drive shaft said it was a 32 spline, so that's good. And yeah, so yeah, this is the manual shift. Just have to get the sensor for it, fill it with fluid, then we'll be ready to kind of toss it in. Oh yeah, so there's my stuff. Thanks for letting me show you my junk. Yeah, here's the other one. You can see how dirty it is. I mean, I don't even know if they drain the fluid. They stuffed some plastic in the ends, but this one actually came with caps on the ends to protect the splines, and it's completely clean. No fluid came out of it, so that was drained very nicely. This one was probably still half full of fluid when they shipped it, but I think I'm gonna take this bracket off just so I don't have to deal with trying to clean this one or fluid dripping off. I don't want to deal with any leaks, so I'm just gonna take the bracket off and throw it on the other one. Alright guys, and so while we're on the topic of let me show you my junk, I said a couple of videos back I was gonna show you guys the engine mounts. So I did show this, I think, in the engine mount build video, but a lot of you guys are new and haven't seen the mounts. So I want to show you the quality of the mounts, and I can show you how well you don't have to weld your engine mounts. So for those of you guys that are new and you're here for Ranger stuff, these are the engine mounts, and I basically took the factory GM mount and I welded it right to the little Ford Ranger mount section that bolts into the the little frame piece. So let's take a gander and I'll show you what I did. So the little bottom section, that's the factory Ranger mount piece, and then I took a piece of flat stock and goobered a couple pieces together. So these, they look so terrible because usually I'm not that bad with a MIG, but I welded them in place when the engine was inside there. So I tacked it up and then pulled the engine back out and then welded it, and it's kind of a really crappy angle. But that's literally all that's in there holding this thing right now. So I guess you would think you would need a little bit more booger than that, but these have been doing pretty well for me, and they're actually, you know, they're rubber. I mean, they move a little bit, but let's look at the backside. The backside is, I think, where you're gonna get your money's worth. So that's what's on the backside. I'm dead serious. That's what I've been running this with for over a year. How many drag passes and pulls and whatever. And that's what the engine mounts look like. It's literally just a little booger on the backside holding that thing in. So we got the little plate on the front and then these little guys on the back. So if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 2, how bad are they? And just for curiosity, be honest, if I were to show you that a year ago, what would you have said about it? Now that I showed you that after the fact, that I've run this thing pretty hard for a very long time, a year. Ran it NA for a while, then put the turbo on it. The turbo was like 8 pounds right away, and then I was at 11 pounds for a while, and then in between 15 and 18 pounds for several months on those mounts. So, what do you think? What would you have said back in the day versus right now? I'm curious.